Hi everyone, I'm Shivani Singh. I'm a corporate lawyer by profession and an interior design enthusiast over the weekends. Today I'll be walking you guys through my penthouse apartment in Gurgaon. Well, let's get started. Starting from the foyer area, this is the first thing that you notice when you enter from the main door. The greenish color of this space goes with the entire vibe of the house, but you won't find this exact shade anywhere else. So it makes for a striking feature. And the gold accents, these dark wood in the wall niches, sort of goes with the entire, the other elements in the house. Moving to our living room. One of the most striking features of this room is its ceiling. If you notice, it has that cottage vibe feel, covered with white wooden panels. And frankly, this was one of the most bravest decisions I had to make for the house, because this is the only room that has this kind of a ceiling, but seems like it worked. Second interesting thing I would say about this room is the color theme. It has that mix of Scandinavian vibe and that coastal feel, neutrals in the furniture, oceanic colors in the softer furnishing. One of the reason why we chose this house over a lot of other properties that we're seeing was that the natural light that comes in. So a little backstory, this was a pandemic purchase. Post-pandemic purchase rather, and pandemic made all of us realize that we are going to be spending a lot of time in our homes, and when we do that, we want something that sort of still connects us to the outside, and that's where the large window plays the trick. I think another interesting thing about the room is that you'll find there are no daunting TVs or gadgets here, and that's intentional, frankly, because we wanted a space that's cozy, comfortable, and we engage in a lot of meaningful conversations whenever we are hosting our friends. I don't know if you noticed, you just see the painting, the artwork behind me. This actually is not an art that I purchased somewhere. These large two identical pieces are actually cutouts of the wallpaper that we used to have in our older house, and we spent a lot of our time in that house during the pandemic, so this is kind of a remembrance to the times that we spent in that house. So whatever remained, I carried it here and framed it. It's an elegant piece, but it doesn't take away visually a lot from this room, which is there, and a great conversation starter. Talking about hosting people, next up is our home bar. So I think this was actually the easiest decision for both of us. My husband and I, we both love entertaining guests, and we have a lot of friends coming over. So this kind of actually is the place where most of us hang around all the time. And this is not, nothing was here. When we moved here, this was actually supposed to be a utility space. This is right next to the kitchen and the foyer area, so this is supposed to be sort of like a utility space, but we thought, why not convert it into a home dry bar? And we love the idea of having a lot of cabinets, but because, like I said, it's sort of squished between the entrance and the kitchen, we also didn't want it to be stuffy and overbearing. So that's why we decided to go for this countertop. It does the job, but it still doesn't take away from this space. It's airy, it still makes it it still makes it spacious, and there's a lot of open space. So many times we have friends pouring drinks for us. So I think this just merges completely with our living room and makes for a great place to hang out. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you one thing. Remember I told you that this was supposed to be a utility space? It also used to have a large daunting MCB unit. Guess what? It's still there. Let me show you. Ta-da! So that's what the mirror does. It makes the space look very grand, but also hides the MCB unit. Moving from the home bar is our dining space, which is right in front of the home bar and also merging with our living room. If you notice, this is actually the center point of our entire house. Our house is kind of made on the idea of those traditional homes कि एक आंगन है बीच में और सारे rooms उसके around है and everything merges into one. That's how it is. And because it's also the area that you first notice when you enter from the main door, we didn't want to do, we wanted to sort of play along with the expansiveness of it. And that's what we did. Curated, collected pieces just like this chandelier. And we're loving it. Next, I'm taking you to the funkiest room in the house. Let's go. This, I call it the lazy lounge. This was supposed to be the third bedroom in the house, but we sort of turned it upside down, converted it into a lounging space. This is where my husband watches all his matches. We play board games with friends. There's an extra desk for the times when both of us are working from home. And the idea is to sort of someday convert it into a home theater, but there's time. So till then, this is where we sort of relax. And because this is kind of a place which has that, relaxed vibe, we were very extremely cautious with the fact that what kind of sitting we wanted here. Because you can't relax in a place if it doesn't have comfortable sitting. And that's wherein these armchairs and this comfortable sofa comes into place. The rug is actually the recent purchase. And I think it sort of ties everything together because, like you notice, it's a mixed bag, We have this wall, which sort of gives a moodiness in the room. By the way, interesting thing is these walls are sort of made from MDF sheets stuck together. So this wall sort of gives that moodiness in the room. The completely contrasting to that is this exposed brick wall that is contemporary but yet very elegant. So the rug sort of ties everything together and makes for a fun place. Next up is what I like to call our Taj Mahal because it took a lot of efforts to build. Come in. This is our master bedroom cum study. Initially these were supposed to be two separate rooms with separate entries and a wall in between. But after much deliberation, we decided that why don't we, break this wall? And I have to give credits to my husband because if I don't, he's gonna kill me for it. Because it was his idea to sort of, break the wall in between and combine the two. Now this is essentially the place where a lot of things are happening. This is our home library. There's a patio where I spend most of my winter afternoons. There's a study. This is where I work most of the times. And another interesting thing in this room is this artwork. If you notice, these are actually these are real pictures, and these are pictures from our honeymoon, which I sort of comicized and created it into a canvas art. Next up is the master bedroom. Right next to it, like I said before, right, that these were supposed to be two separate rooms. So we wanted a separation, but not something that completely blocks it. And that's where the idea of this partition came into place. This half and half partition. The wood in the partition and the woodwork generally in the room sort of, goes together and complements perfectly. The master bedroom, of course, has the bed. There's a TV cabinet. There's vanity. The wardrobes. Another interesting thing about both these rooms is that both of them, because are part of one unit, they have the exactly same color palette going on, which is basically the muted gray and the soft blue. The soft blue is the exact same soft blue that you saw in the kitchen, because and that's an interesting fact, that in my house the colors sort of travel. The blue from the kitchen is here, then I've borrowed some yellows in some another room, and like that. So I also like to call my house a house of traveling colors. Let me walk you through my kitchen. I was very sure that I didn't want darker tones in the kitchen. Why? Because this room, the space gets very little natural light, and that too only during the morning hours. So I was under the impression that this, if I went with the darker shades, the place would sort of look very daunting and dingy during the evening time. So while I was sure that I wanted lighter tones and lighter shades, but this blue was really one of the bolder decisions for the house, and it took a lot of convincing. But it's it sort of works. It's calm, it's nice, it's very peppy, and very unique choice for the kitchen. Everything here is done up from the scratch, and it has been a conscious purchase. These from everything, the blue laminates, the white quartz countertop, the gold tinted knobs, those cute little baskets. It all sort of works together and makes for an interesting choice. Thank you guys for watching this today. For more such interesting content, please subscribe to LBB Homely newsletter.